Someone in the comments section will have more info on this for sure, but Koshien is a place in Nishinomiya City, sort of halfway between Kobe and Osaka's western boundary, in that massive urbanized area of southern Japan. It's perhaps best known for the Hanshin Koshien Stadium, where the national high school baseball tournament takes place every spring and summer in Japan. This is a pretty historic tourney, by the way, featuring teams from all over Japan and having been competed over 100 times by this point. In video game terms, though, it refers to a series of 12 baseball titles released between 1989 and 2012. These were all Japanese exclusive, apart from the very first one, which was released on the NES in North America as Little League Baseball. So yeah, if you've not worked it out by now, these games see you controlling kids' baseball teams, essentially, rather than pro yakyu. The single Game Boy Color entry in the series came out a few weeks earlier than the more famous Power Pro Kun Pocket. We've looked at number 3 in that franchise not so long ago in the Game Boy Advance series, and graphically there are plenty of comparisons to be made between the two. But where those ones typically have some story mode or something to keep them interesting as the series entries go along, there's considerably less content here this time around. While there are something like 4,000 teams to choose from all over Japan, the only modes on offer are a quick 5-inning practice or the Koshien tournament itself. So really the game's gonna have to live or die by its gameplay, which annoyingly is where Pocket Koshien struggles in comparison to its more accessible colleagues. Firstly, batting. The timing is incredibly off here. Sure, it might look like I'm just incredibly bad at this game, and yes, I probably am. However, it's something you really just have to play for yourself to get a feel for how strange the timing is. I've played many baseball games up to this point, way too many, you might say, and typically they all feel kinda similar when it comes to the timing of your swings. However, Pocket Koshien seems to play by its own bizarre rule set. It's almost as if the timing you see on screen doesn't correlate with the acceptable window that was programmed behind the graphics. Also, it's one of those where AI fielding is so incredibly prescient that on the slight chance that you actually managed to connect with the ball, it's a pretty damn good bet that the fielder is gonna get it to the base way before you manage to get there. That's if they don't just catch you out straight away, which happens all the time. In terms of fielding, the pitches feel a little more natural than the batting, although you don't have a great deal of control over where the ball is going. You can't really put a lot of swerve on your throws, for instance, and while you feel like you are in control of moving your fielders, it'll realistically be just as effective if you do nothing and let the computer control for you. Yeah, you still have to throw to the correct base, but other than that, there's not a whole lot of input required. I feel we've been here many times before on that channel, that's because we have, whereby we're faced with a baseball game that is so unfairly programmed against the team who are batting that you just end up flying through 9 innings super quickly with a super low score because the first 3 players to step up to the plate are either struck out or caught out virtually immediately. Granted, it is quite easy for you to also eliminate the opponent's batters, and granted, it does mean that the game's over pretty quickly, but it doesn't make it very exciting. Now, for the 3 of you still watching this video, sports games typically don't do that well for me in terms of viewer attention, as I'm sure you can imagine. Then I'm assuming you at least have a slight interest in the sport of baseball, unlike me. You'll be glad to know then that we'll be right back here in not that many videos time on this Game Boy Color series with another entry in the Power Pro Kun Pocket series. Like I say, I've played a couple of those already, and so I'm hopeful that that will at least be more accessible than this one, if not more exciting.